And action. Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Untitled Shoe Show.
USS.
The USS, baby. And we're back. We got fucking video. We're about to be up on the damn YouTubes, dude. Let that sponsorship money start fucking rolling in, dude. Get your rubber bands and wallets out, because it's about to be cash stacking season. As always, it's your boy, Worst of Pat, on this damn show. We got the one and only Mr. Unmovable Yohei with us, and controlling the boards, controlling the sound, controlling the video. We've got the master of disaster, Sean.
I'm quite behind the scenes at this point.
You're full like Jamie style, dude. We're fucking JRE, dude. We're Joe Rogues up in here, dude. We're Joe Rogan in a pair of Air Force Ones, baby. What's everyone been up to today, though? Or this week, I guess.
Just preparing for this.
That's all you've locked yourself away.
Yeah.
You were also, like a Shaolin monk.
At the crib, we got the furnace person coming. Okay. And in front of there's just a whole bunch of sneakers that I had to get out of the way.
The furnace person's like, what happened? Did you rob a sneaker con? That was probably an insane moment. That guy, was he young guy, old guy?
Older.
Oh, so he was like, get this junk out of it. Because there's a chance a young guy comes and he's like, holy fuck, dude.
That's right.
And that guy's the one who's like, no, I definitely came with these 4 pairs of shoes. I always bring 4 pairs of shoes to do a furnace job. Sean, what have you been up to, brother?
Dude, nothing. Just staying busy. Going out of town on Thursday. Little Sin City action.
Little Sin City, dude. Frank fucking Miller up in this
Las
place.
Vegas?
Do you know any? Yeah. Do you know any good shoe stores out there, man?
There's the one, Urban Necessities.
I'll remember that.
It's overwhelming.
Well, I'm there for 4 days, so I'll check it out, man.
Oh yeah, it's considered the biggest sneaker store kind of in the States, I would say.
I was gonna say, speaking of Urban Necessities, you hear the news on 2J?
Yes,
kicks?
About Louis Vuitton, right?
Louis Vuitton no longer selling to 2J Kicks is his name, right?
Yeah, I mean, that must hurt for him because he has spent millions of dollars, like we discussed about the Air Force One, Louis Vuitton Air Force One. But I think what it is it's a context thing. You go down his page, and he's in the store with Louis Vuitton products, right?
Yeah.
Some of them on display.
At Urban Necessities?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like he had the LV airplane bag, which is like $30,000.
I mean, shit that just no one other than like oil sheiks and guys who have tons of uncounted money.
Right. And so like, you know, there was that and maybe a couple other things, and LV might have had like an op or someone, you know, try to buy something from him, and then he maybe said a number, is my guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If you deny him, like, you know, he's on a 2-year ban. If you deny him, like, there's so many other people that, you know what I mean? Like, who else are you gonna ban? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Stop banning all these motherfuckers from your store, dude. I get that you're trying to.
It's like a Ferrari thing, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's this fucking dumb luxury item kind of like mentality of, hey man, no one's buying it from you. You guys aren't letting the people in who are gonna buy this shit.
Right.
So let someone buy it. You're getting the money regardless. It's not like this guy has 50 of the Louis Vuitton airplane bags or whatever other thing that everyone's panicked about him buying. It's like, this guy's just buying shit. Some of it's probably personal. Some of it is getting sold to private clients. And a lot of it is just showpieces for in-store that when he does give these people a fucking price on it, it's like 5 times whatever the fuck he paid for it.
And right now, the richest person in the world is the CEO and chairman of LVMH, Louis Vuitton. So that's Bernard Arnault. Yeah. So
richest person in the world
right now. Yeah, I thought it was Elon for the longest, right?
Well, Elon
now he's 2. Elon is 2.
He lost his ass on those Tesla stocks.
Oh,
man.
Elon's shit dropped, baby.
Yeah, so
He's still doing quite well, though.
Well, yeah, he's a guy that wakes up and can be like, well, I lost $200 billion today. Still really rich.
Can you imagine taking a $1 billion bath and just being like, oh yeah, I'm fine?
Yeah. I get pissed if I lose a $20 bill somewhere. I'm like, what the fuck happened? But for myself personally, I had what I thought was a fucking mind-blowing experience of seeing someone do something that I thought I'd never see before. So, working, fucking see a guy pull out his phone, no big deal, pops open Shazam, super normal. You know, I totally understand the concept of Shazam, but as he's pulling this phone out and putting it on, this guy, mind you, easily between 30, 40 years old. Like, not a super young kid, not a super old person.
Okay.
Pulls his phone out, pops Shazam. I realize what song. We are listening to Juicy by Biggie Smalls, dude. We are listening to the Notorious B.I.G. play his most famous, notable song of all time that everyone in the world, I think, at least knows some of the lyrics to.
Well, one of two things. It was either A, he's like, oh, I've never heard this before, but I fuck with it. Or B, he's like, I've heard this song a million times and I don't know what it's called. I guarantee that's what it was.
You know, Pat, sometimes better late than never. Maybe he's from a
I fucking don't accept
place.
either of these answers, dude. I think this is fucking ridiculous. This is out of control. This is people of my parents' generation hearing the fucking Beatles, Let It Be, and having to Shazam that shit. Oh, yeah. It's like, this shit changed your life.
You do make a good point. He definitely grew up in that era, is what you're saying.
You grew up.
Yeah.
It's either this song was super popular when you were a small child, or you were actively partying when this song came out. What did you think? You heard the song starts and you're like, was this the Juicy Fruit ad? Oh my God, they're rapping over it. What the hell's happening here?
Well, that's a good point. Does he use the word juicy at all in the song?
I don't know if he...
I don't think that lyric
There
comes
might
up.
be like one... I actually don't think he does. I think it is just because they stole the... I think it was the Juicy Fruit fucking jingle was what that sample was from.
They use... Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
probably.
Like,
okay,
it was from a Juicy Fruit commercial, I think.
That old soul song they used,
Yeah, some gum, or at least a gum commercial. And
makes sense.
Sounds like you're doing a public service at Sense Pizza, you know? I mean people need to tap in with the rest of the world. And
I did have a good memory with that song. I was at a concert and they had that song playing as like the house music.
Yeah.
And every single person in the crowd, these are people like my age, didn't really necessarily like, weren't like teenagers in the 90s.
You weren't
but
there.
Every person in the crowd sang every word of that song.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
It was loud. It was like louder than the house music.
Actual music.
It was sweet. Yeah,
that's
was cool.
It's not a song that's like... I feel like I could call one of my parents and even my mom would be like, I think that's Biggie. She'd say it very weirdly, but she would still be correct on it.
I definitely have seen videos on like Barstool of like people Shazamming like very well-known songs.
Yeah, it blew my like I wanted to grab the phone and smash it and be like, we're not doing this. If you don't know it now, you don't ever get to know. You have to die.
And if you don't know, now you
know. But yeah, that was one of my big crummufles of the week, to be honest, is how do you not know this song? It's just it's a flavor in your ear, dude.
I hear it, man. Well, those are some nice pleasantries we started with. I'm very excited to what we're doing today. Yohei, why don't you tell the fine people what we're about to jump into?
Yeah, so this is a topic that I think is worth exploring. And, there's multiple sneaker brands, but I think it's very clear that two of them are head-to-head in a way, internationally.
Pepsi, Coke.
Yep.
What I don't know.
Joke's on us. What if Pepsi and Coke were owned by the same person? Who knows? But anyway, this one definitely not owned by the same person, what we're about to talk about. And that's Nike versus Adidas. And there is a clear answer
yes.
from a specific perspective.
My perspective.
And that's our perspective. Our There's no I in we.
There's no we and I.
That's right.
There's no I in shoe.
Yes. And all these things are true. So yeah, today it's fucking Nike versus Adidas.
And
I'm gonna be quick off the draw. I'm a Nike guy, dude. Always have been, always will be. That's love. This is the meme.
Hold on, ready? Nike swoosh.
This is the meme of like the two hands coming together, and it's like this is us right now.
Well,
like the Predator, muscle guy hand slap. Yeah.
We almost had a casualty.
Oh, don't worry, it has air.
It's got air, which Adidas doesn't have. But all right, so some things I know. I'm the fucking perspective of the people, dude. I know only what I've ever just experienced in life. So Adidas, I know much older than Nike. Probably got what, 50 years on them?
And that's what we'll talk in specifics in a
So
second. Yeah.
we got Adidas being much older. Adidas starting in Germany.
Yep.
Adidas being started, wasn't it originally, I'm going to say, two brothers, and then they both broke off and were like, fuck you, we're both starting shoe companies. One started Adidas, the other one started, I'm going to guess, Puma?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
So since you're on that topic, I kind of did a little Google research because I was not alive then.
You were not alive during World War II.
So to help you guys understand how old Adidas is. Adi Dassler, Adi is his name, and then Dassler is the last name, started this whole thing in 1924.
Okay.
It is 2023, so therefore it is coming up on the 100
years.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Exciting.
Hopefully they put out a cool superstar.
Yeah. But here's the thing. When it first started, I can't pronounce this, but I'm going to give it a shot. I see an umlaut.
Umlaut.
But it started off as Gebruder Dassler shoe fabric.
Okay.
Would you say that's shoe fabric?
Gebruder Dassler
Shoe fabric. Yeah.
Shoe fabric.
Yeah, cool.
So it didn't really start as Adidas until 1949. But in 1924, Adi Dassler was making what I call the potato shoe era. That is not an official term. I call that whole time potato shoe era because...
Coining it, copyright, potato shoe era.
Copyright.
It's ours.
The reason is because we're talking about back then, 100 years ago plus, everyone was wearing like wingtip shoes, dress shoes, right?
Yeah, they didn't even have fucking sneakers
and
back
they're like,
then, dude. Everyone was dapper as fuck.
We can't play sports in these dress shoes no more. This is getting ridiculous. So, to evolve from that, they didn't just jump straight to this or whatever. You know, it really literally was like leather wrapped around your foot with nails on the bottom. And that's why I call it the potato era, because all the shoes, no matter what brand, look the same.
Yeah, they're just all super simple. And now question, do you know in this 21 to 47?
24 is the...
24 to 47 or whatever. Is this still the two brothers working together?
That's a phenomenal question.
I know,
all I
got
can
good
say
questions.
Is that Adi Dassler was like almost 50. He was like 40 something when he started Adidas in 1949.
Okay.
Puma started in 1948. So something happened. I don't know
at that time.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
So they did split right at the beginning of probably, let's say, 48.
Sure.
Cool.
In the 40s, yeah. Coming into the 50s, a whole new era. And, Adidas definitely started, as just a small company making athletic shoes for the athletes in Germany, okay? So
sketchy.
And let's not go to the...
Whatever athletes they were, it was just
like,
some guys.
I don't know if you guys are history buffs, but
1947 Germany's not great.
No. Oh, 47? No, it was all mellowing out.
Yeah, that's why when Yohei started, they were like, oh no. But anyway, nonetheless, Adi Dassler started that in 1924, which is almost 100 years ago, and then Adidas started in 1949, which is 74 years ago. So you can say Adidas is 74 years old, and then Adi Dassler started almost 100 years ago.
His shoe legacy is almost 100 years old.
Now let's talk about Nike. Nike started in...
Beaverton, Oregon, baby.
Actually, Eugene, which is close. Yeah.
Beaverton sounds cooler, dude. Eugene, dog shit name, probably dog shit city.
Yeah, man. That's that
Come at me, Oregon.
That's that nerdy
funny you
kid
say the
from Hey
word
Arnold.
dog because Shoe Dog is the book about Nike's history. But take a guess when Nike started.
I'm going to say Nike probably started in 19... Because I'm thinking about...
Okay, you got the first.
I knew
first
we were in
part,
19. Right? We're in the 19th or the 20th century for sure.
18.
So I know they were still a small company when when Magic Johnson joined the league, because that's why I didn't
Jordan.
Magic Jordan, that's their love child.
Magic Jordan, that'd be an amazing fictitious
So I'm gonna
character.
guess maybe 79.
I'm going 77.
Okay.
Are you pretty-
1964.
64.
Which is
My goodness.
59 years ago, so they're coming up on 60. 1964, it started as Blue Ribbon Sports, but for all intents and
Paps
purposes,
sued him.
yeah, all intents and purposes, it's Nike. You know, BRS, Blue
Yeah.
Ribbon Sports is Nike, but Nike officially was coined in 1971. So
Okay.
it's still like only a 6-ish, 7-year period.
7 year period. You know what Nike is, right?
Yeah, it is the Greek goddess of victory.
You got it, brother.
Yes, and
dude,
it's funny because when I,
you know.
I love hunting for old shoes. In my old searches, my eBay searches or whatever, proxies, I put vintage Nike, and very seldomly comes an actual like statue
Like
of
a
the
marble
Greek goddess of Nike herself. I'm like, well, I certainly don't need this, but I see you. It's
You're like, yeah,
it's like this.
I don't need any deities.
So I don't know why, but the only remaining statue of Nike is like her entire like chest up is broken off.
Yeah.
So it's like
Just the
that's
bust.
what they keep showing as Nike, which is odd to me.
Have they
But
ever used that silhouette or image of the sculpture as like advertising? I feel like they have, or like merch. Or
I don't
something.
know. I was just thinking that same thing of why they don't kind of lean into that a little
And
bit.
throw a pair of sneakers
or
on
like
it,
a
yeah.
pair of
So-
like Nike Victory pack or something.
I know they
have
associated-
used
yeah.
it actually.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought
really?
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
advertising
have.
stuff. Yeah,
They have,
Well-
but they don't really tap into that anymore.
they hate Greeks.
Hey, I love a good gyro.
because it takes away from their face of their the athletes.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But so it started by Bill Bowerman, and also just like Adidas, it was very sports,
Absolutely.
forward,
Well,
and
it was
which
a
is
big
running.
running track stuff. Because I know there's the story. You got, is it Big Philly Knight fucking waffle pressing down those?
Yeah. So the bottoms were made out of melting rubber and
Yeah.
a waffle iron. So
The shit you
Adidas
could-
definitely didn't do that.
The shit
right?
you could do back then is just like put chemicals onto a waffle iron. Now you have to have a fucking IT degree to develop anything. In
Oh,
the
for
world.
sure. So yeah, that's
Back then you could
kind of
just be
how it
fucking
was.
stoned.
Yeah, is that why Phil Knight looks like shit now? Because he was huffing rubber for like 20
yeah,
years?
they all just have giant, like horrible lung infections they've been living with forever.
But one thing for sure is, those surviving waffle runners and oh my goodness, spikes. Woo! They, we're talking Sotheby's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we talking 7 figures?
I want to see the actual iron.
So I have seen 6 figures all the time
Okay.
if they're in decent condition, but it could very well go to 7.
Like a
and
premium?
And the official iron is actually they found it in his backyard. I think Bowerman's backyard, like kind of low key buried in like rust and stuff, and so like it's displayed at the Nike headquarters, this like super janky waffle iron that's like
big glass case.
Yeah,
and
glass
the
case,
whole
like
story.
this is where it started. So that's kind of considered low-key the holy grail of Nike.
I never know what's stopping them from just finding an old shitty waffle maker and telling everyone at Nike, like,
Well-
this is the one. And they're like, hey, Bill, could you just go along with it? He's like,
Nike is a
Sure.
brand of integrity. And
Well, there's also
oh, yeah. Big integrity guys over at
the
Nike.
unspoken hero, real quick, of that waffle iron story is fucking. You can't have that shit not stick without a little bit of Pam on
A little
the
Pam
iron.
on there, dude. A little bit of butter.
so just so we can
What do
kind
we
of
got- what do we got
understand here, we got ourselves here a nylon Cortez
Okay.
from the late 60s.
Late 60s
Yes.
nylon Cortez. So this is within Nike being Nike, so not Blue Ribbon Sports. This is probably in first
So
10,
we're talking,
5
and
years.
let me just put an asterisk. There's no official year here because they made shoes over a period of time.
Yeah.
Late 60s, early 70s is
Damn.
from the research
and this
I
is
gathered.
still, I mean,
In
other than
crispy
like,
condition.
other than some like glue seeping out, which I mean, I feel like it's fairly normal. This motherfucker is clean. I mean, I go down to the barrio, pop these bad boys on, get a little respect on my name. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Where'd you find these things? Time machine?
Yes. In fact, yeah.
I believe it.
I should have gotten probably a different shoe, but no. I was at a sneaker store in Columbus, owned by a guy named Juice and Boss Kicks.
Okay. Shout out
what's
Juice
funny
and Boss Kicks. I don't know you, but
I don't know neither of their real names. Okay,
that's the best way to know.
And
people.
This store, I called the Trap House because you go in and no offense, Rice Kicks and Boss Kicks, but it was a complete mess. But they're all just hanging out there. And my favorite thing about this store is the store was called Addicted to #2
Hell
Kicks.
Yeah.
Okay, Addicted to
Is Kicks with an X?
It might have a K in there somewhere.
Or Z.
Okay. And they had a chameleon named Kicks.
So like a real Jackson chameleon
So it's like you
style.
go in there and you're like, wow, I'm going to probably be talking about this years from now about a sneaker store with shoes everywhere, right?
A side note, I think those stores are so much more enjoyable and interesting to go into than a store where... No offense to
you used to own one.
Yeah, I owned a dog shit store, so I fucking love. But that's where you find stuff like a fucking a 1960s Cortez versus a store where everything is very curated and clean. You don't really get to find as many gems.
Yeah,
going to stores where it is fucking kind of chaotic and a little crazy has this extra thrill of it's like hunting.
What will be there.
Yeah.
And I want you to just to kind of put it this way, like you're digging and you find a diamond and it just twinkles and sparkles. You're like, oh my goodness, right? And that's exactly what happened here. Well, let me just quickly wrap up the Kicks Lizard story because this is great.
I need to know.
This is why I love the game, okay? So
he matched colors with the
anytime
shoe.
I go to Columbus, that was one of my spots, Addicted to Kicks.
Yeah.
Addicted to Kicks was so low key that you couldn't even GPS Addicted to Kicks. I had to go
there, baby.
I had to go by there was a what I believe to be a Checkers, like a Rally's on the corner. So I had to use that as the access point to get to Addicted to Kicks, But anyway,
you got to take like a secret it's like into the bat cave.
Yeah. And so they used to have a lizard, and the next time I go, the tank is gone. And
Like,
I'm like,
what happened?
I'm like, guys, what happened to Kicks? And they're like, oh, we sold him.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I'm like, bro, that was your mascot. Like, we have Glenn, the orangutan at Highland Throwbacks,
Correct.
right? That was their thing. And I'm like, why would you do that? And he's like, everything's for sale for the right price.
Money is money, baby.
And I'm like,
I want to go down to Addicted to Kicks, dude. This sounds like my kind of store.
Unfortunately, they closed. They had a divorce. I mean, business-wise.
Yes. I didn't think it was...
one of them actually still has a store in Reynoldsburg on the southeast side of... but I forget the name of the store. But if you go on IG, I think... Boss Kicks is his name.
Are they on GPS, this new store?
Yeah. Had they gone legit?
Perhaps not, considering the fact that I just know where it is, but I don't know the name of the store.
I love that, too.
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show you don't judge a book by its cover because you just got a sick find, man.
You just have to kind of go. Yeah, and so this I got for, I'm sorry, world, but it was the price that he told me, $30. I got this for, and I'm going to be honest, it's worth a little more than that. But,
like $6 extra?
36?
$37.
Yes, exactly.
get,
and with inflation, of course.
Box or anything? I'm guessing no box.
No box. It was just by itself,
that's
right?
Fair.
So off rip, I'm just looking. I'm like, oh, that's extremely clean. But then I looked at the font of the Nike, and they don't embroider like that no more. It doesn't look
even the letters themselves look a little thinner than normal.
And the moment I saw the age glue, I was like, no way. This is old. Like, and then you look and you're like, oh yeah, this is crazy. And you don't find older shoes in this condition. Usually when you find something that's near 50 years old, I mean, it looks like...
Well, and I was going to say, it's crazy because this is still more or less a silhouette that is getting produced by Nike today.
Absolutely.
So it's crazy that...
In fact, Forrest Gump. is a Cortez.
Is a Cortez guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably one of the most famous Cortez guys.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother podcast about what on earth happened with the Onitsuka Tiger and the Cortez, the battle. And obviously, Cortez came on top. So that's that. But anyway, that's the hunt. You never know when you go to these little, I don't want to call Addicted to Kicks a mom and pop shop because no mom was there.
Yeah.
It's just the boys,
just
some dudes.
Not just the fellas opening up a couple underground stores, living life.
Let me tell you how crazy the store is. They definitely went to the Goodwill bins. I go in one day and there's an inflatable pod racer balloon, or what do you call it? Inflatable floaty.
Bro, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was a Lay's collaboration, apparently.
Yep.
And you're supposed to lay on the Anakin's pod racer and it had cup holders and stuff, and it's just inflated, hanging on the ceiling. And the first thing I say is, "How much?" And they're like $50, and I'm like, "Fantastic, I'm done."
Do you still have it?
Yes,
dude.
I don't know what to do.
Listen,
with
dude,
it.
I remember those from back in the day.
Sean's like, I have to have.
Was it at the grocery store?
I think sometimes they would have them as displays. Yeah. But I remember it they would I feel like they would even advertise it on the commercials. Like, oh, if you have enough Lay's points, you could get one or something.
If you've eaten enough Lay's chips, first off,
they copied Marlboro.
Getting enough, it's a Marlboro Miles thing where it's like, hey, we're going to give you something that if you've eaten enough Lay's chips to deserve it, you're probably not a big swimmer.
Well, and Pepsi was big on it too. Remember, Pepsi had the cans, the character card cans.
Oh, yeah.
And I was collecting those because I wanted to get all of them.
Oh, yeah.
But
all
not
the
to stay on
characters.
Star Wars for too long, but the other big in-store display
Star Wars.
piece of merch was the R2-D2 Pepsi cooler. And I've seen it come in on Pawn Stars and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah, because it's actually, a lot of them are still in pretty good shape.
So the round part's a lid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Those are rad.
So we got a little bit of background from where Adidas starts, where Nike starts. Since Adidas is older, what are some of the first? We said that Nike. Looking at Nike Cortez, this motherfucker still in rotation. Does Adidas have any shoes? Because Adidas has to win me over right
absolutely. Now. So I think when we say Nike versus Adidas, I'm really just trying to think on behalf of everybody here, right? And I get it. If you grew up in England, or Russia, I understand if you want to wear an Adidas tracksuit, matching tracksuit, and you don't want nothing to do with Nike. I get it.
But this here's America.
Exactly. But there's more than that. We're not talking about national pride or what country the shoe is from. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of think a little deeper than that aspect. I just wanted to break down the pros and cons of each brand.
All right.
But ultimately why Nike is just clearly superior, okay? I mean,
I love that we just have a pure answer to this.
Clearly. It's almost beyond argument. So let's on Adidas Pro side, why is Adidas huge? They kill the soccer, the soccer
cleats and
that whole look that the share is insane. For example, they sponsor the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi, who just won the World Cup. That's Team Adidas right there, right? And a whole bunch of players, But
I think it's
internationally.
Yeah, I think internationally is something we don't necessarily think about as much.
Sure.
That Adidas, especially starting in Western Europe, so much more of that shit is flying around over there. You got the tracksuits that if you're a cool guy from 1970 up until literally now, fucking dudes over there are rocking tracksuits heavy. Adidas has always been way bigger over there because it is headquartered there. It has lasted longer.
Yeah.
But I think that Nike even now is getting more into
exactly
cleats and kind of delving into Europe more. I think now it's
to squash that Nike part. I mean, they had Ronaldinho. They have currently CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo, right?
Shout out.
Which is also one of the biggest
best players,
soccer players. So it's not like they are not tapped into the football soccer market, right? But at the end of the day, Adidas has a huge part of it, always has. And you think about that aesthetic of Bonds Malone, right? Is that his name?
Oh, That's the man, dude.
He went over and he's getting gazelles and stuff. And I admire a lot of these Euro collectors that get different Adidas shoes that are like different suede colors with the different 3 stripes.
Yeah.
And each one is like a different city. They'll have a graphic on the insole or some embroidery. And I think that's dope. I think that's...
Yeah, it's cool. They're able to do different colorways the same way Nike is and shit.
Right.
And
they have the handball, the Special, Samba is probably the biggest one, Superstar. But when you step back, I think about, in general, when you step back, it's low-key limited. Meaning the shape, high top, low top, mid top, or whatever, it's ultimately boils down to just one surface in general and 3 stripes, right?
Yeah.
Nike is way more than that. It's not just, it has so many shapes,
yeah,
right?
They have so many more silhouettes. They're not...
The swoosh is all over the place.
Yeah,
An Adidas can only be, in general, here, okay?
It's just the only place that those 3 stripes kind of fit in.
Exactly.
And I think it's a little bit, at first, it makes a ton of sense for a business model that our iconic fucking imagery is on every shoe, always in the same place. I mean, you see the 3 stripes, you know it's Adidas, this, that, and the other. And it is iconic. If I see 3 stripes, if you see, I remember being a kid and being broke and my mom getting me the JCPenney special 4-stripe Superstars, but your eyes can just tell. You don't fool anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone that 4th stripe looks so unnatural.
So you just kind of cut it off.
Well, you just it just shows how iconic you can make 3, specifically 3 stripes. Mm-hmm. But I think to what you're saying, it's it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's always that.
And to Adidas' credit, going back to the era, this is really old. I can't exactly figure out when it's from, but
if you know,
I mean,
tell
this
us.
is...
Yeah, but also notice the Stan Smith, there's no 3 stripes on there.
Right. Well, they got the dots, right?
They have dots.
But what I want to
3.
say is
9
there
dots.
was an era when there's always a leader in the sneaker brand, and everybody tries to copy them, okay?
Correct.
And for sure, every brand tried to copy Adidas at one point. This is when Nike was at a more earlier stage, right?
They're playing catch up.
Yeah, I got pictures of Nikes with shell toes. They tried to copy. It was a blazer low with a shell toe, or they had a Nike shoe with this same dots going 3 lines down. I'm like, how did they get away with that?
Well, back then, no one. Nowadays, everyone sues everyone,
right?
Because our legal system's completely fucking disaster.
But one thing for sure is, I think, Adidas at one point was at the top of the game. I wasn't there, but I could see it.
100%.
Run DMC.
I was just about to say, that was big.
My Superstar.
My Adidas, yeah.
Or that, my Adidas. I just messed up
My
the song.
Superstars.
My Superstars.
Yeah,
right.
no,
The
in the
whitest
80s,
way to sing it.
especially in New York, no one was wearing Nikes. I mean, not no one, but it was all Adidas because Run DMC was the biggest fucking thing.
And I'll give
100%.
it to, probably Puma and K-Swiss and all that stuff. Everything was kind of unclear.
I think this was a time where right before Nike breaks out is the time when breakdancing starts, when you're getting Puma Clydes being huge, Superstars being huge. You start getting other new brands. You get Troops in there. Whew. You get,
think about it, too. Converse. Oh, yeah, the French brand with the chicken, yeah.
But Converse, you do get all these other brands. To the point
where Magic Johnson couldn't decide if he should go with Converse or Nike. He went with Converse because they were offering him a bigger check. Yeah. He couldn't tell that Nike...
He thought about that for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, he didn't realize Nike would clearly be the biggest thing ever.
But you also, at that time, too, don't want to hitch your wagon to the fucking wrong horse and be LL Cool J repping Troops, and then Troops just becomes nothing.
Yeah,
or
LA Gear.
Or LA Gear. There were a bunch of brands at that time popping up that a guy telling you, hey, we don't have any money, but I could give you stock. You don't know. You don't have a crystal ball. You don't know if this brand's going to be, whoa, this is the epitome of what a shoe brand ever will be and can be.
Yeah.
Or if this thing tomorrow my stock in this company is worth fucking nothing.
Right.
Now I'm wearing the loser shoe. Yeah. You want to be cool in the NBA.
Right.
And it's like, I think that's why Michael Jordan was able to, and I was telling Sean this earlier because we were talking about that clip that you 100%. Sent us. I think Jordan did it out of him being the person with the ego he had. Mm-hmm. Nike had a few more years to grow, saw the potential in it, and Jordan was the type of motherfucker who's like, I'll be the number one person on this brand. This will be my brand. He wanted to be the focus of the brand.
I would
and
say
Nike told him that.
Jordan brand alone could somehow beat Adidas.
I completely agree.
I could say that. But again, I'm trying to be a little balanced here because, again, we are in America and yes, Nike. But Adidas, I feel like back in the day, they were it.
Yeah, well,
and I could feel it. You know, I love collecting old Adidas, even if they're unwearable, right? But I can say that the term tennis shoe, like, you know how you got your moms and aunties calling any shoe you wear, don't wear your tennis shoes inside. And you're like, these are not for tennis, mom. You know, whoever.
Yeah,
right?
Idiot.
I don't even.
I mean,
fuck Andre Agassi.
I think, yeah. So it's the shoes. Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to Andre Agassi, too, which is Nike, right?
Oh, he wasn't Nike, guys.
And that's
Andre, you're good. We cleared you.
You know, Stan Smith's and, you know, shoes. Billie Jean, which is the female, the women's, you know, pro.
Billie Jean King.
Yeah, thank you, Billie Jean King.
I thought we were talking about little Michael Jackson.
I don't know why I have a signed tennis ball by Billie Jean.
Do you really?
For no reason. Yeah, I just like, I don't know what to do with it other than be like, very nice.
I mean, she's
good
the
job.
greatest female player of all time. Yeah,
Such an
hold on to that.
insane item to just have.
Might want to hold on to that.
Sweet. So anyway, and then, you know, you have Nastase and all these, I might have mispronounced that, but you got all these other people. So I got to really give credit to Adidas heritage. Even a shoe like this, you know, I think I'm fascinated by.
Is that an early Forum?
So this is a Europa High made in Spain.
Okay.
And you know, that type of stuff, when I see stuff like that, it's the inner like treasure hunter, wine collector type persona in me that's like, ooh, you know, nothing's made in Spain, you know?
I was going to say, a good rule I've always lived by, even with thrifting, I think anytime it comes to shoes, I mean, really any product, my dad taught me this. If it's made in any Western European country or Japan, it is probably a really good product or has real age to it.
And that's a great thing you said, West, because a lot of Adidas shoes, older ones, say made in West Germany.
Yeah.
Not communist occupied, East, but West. And
these aren't for sharing, baby. These are Stursenals.
For what it's worth, you know, I admire the heritage of Adidas. I get it, you know, and I'm not going to be like, forget it all, you know. But that being said, let's now move into the dominance of Nike on a level that's almost incomprehensible, okay? So
where now to get into that, where do you think the dominance of Nike pops off with Michael Jordan?
So okay. Great point you bring, okay? It's almost like this. A movie studio, right?
Yeah.
Streaming studio starts a new TV show.
Yeah.
When you start a new TV show, you open up a new universe, correct?
Yeah.
And it has episodes and it has seasons.
Yeah, you have.
And as a consumer or viewer, you want to take it all in, you know, all the offerings, right?
Yeah.
So you watch through all the episodes and seasons. Same thing with sneakers. When you open little new universes, which we'll talk about what these are, it opens new things to explore, appreciate, and the opportunities for retroing or collaborations is like just endless, right? Give or take. And I'm going to tell you the sub-brands of Nike, and this is not even all of them.
And then I'm going to tell you if I think they're good or not.
Sweet, thank you. So just to give you an idea, the Adidas logo is limited to the 3 stripes, the EQT logo, which is the equipment, right? It's like boom, boom, boom. It's not 3 equal stripes, but it's like a pyramid shape. It goes,
yes. Gotcha.
and then it's got the trefoil.
Yeah.
The 3 leaves, right?
The best one.
Right. And then there's like a couple others, but they're all derivatives of those 3.
Of those 3 logos, yeah.
Let's think about Nike real quick. You got the Jordan Jumpman, okay?
I mean, a brand that's become its own thing.
For sure.
Under Nike, that, like you said, could probably at this point battle Adidas on how widespread they are.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a lot of Team Jordans, a little sus, but they're still fucking putting out crazy quality.
Sweet.
Next one.
You got Nike SB. You got
Insane.
You got ACG, the triangle. And there's multiple ACG logos.
Huge kickback. I feel like ACG back on the rise. With all the tech and shit everyone's fucking with. Yeah, I mean, dude, we got a perfect. Dude, Sean is killing it on producer style right now.
He did one of those coin behind the ear thing. I'm like, huh?
My guy's David Blaine out here. But no, I mean, ACG doing shit like this, like my own personal from you.
Yeah.
But outdoor style, all conditions gear. Yeah, so
they
ACG
even brought
popping.
Pendleton, their neighbor from, Pendleton's from Oregon, I think, right?
I believe so.
For them to do that, it's just stuff like that, okay? Moving forward, you got
what else is
LeBron logo, Kobe logo. So all these things, we are now delving not only the business part, but the branding. But it's like it's almost like how we love Star Wars, because it's the same thing, yes, but it's like all different somehow, but it's related to properties of Star Wars, right?
It's what we use on the comic. It's a lore.
Yeah, it's the lore of the company.
What Nike's been doing for decades, where you got a shoe and you got the shoe like 1, 2, 3, like different models. You got the Air Max 1. You got the Air Max 90, 91, 90.
I do. I think that was a really smart way of Nike doing that kind of thing. Even with...
They were just making stuff, yes, but now looking back, right?
But that was something that I don't think, at least to my knowledge, other shoe companies were doing. There's no Stan Smith 1, Stan Smith 2.
No.
But it's... If you got the Jordan 1, now the Jordan 2 drops, I gotta go get the Jordan 2. It's same with the Air. Like, you have to... If you love the 1, or you love that athlete especially...
Yeah.
Now it's, I gotta go get every shoe. And every year, these people are committing to buying... another shoe, like you're building in this fan base that is now becoming addicted and figuring out, man, all right, I gotta get the Jordan 5, but I love the Jordan 3 and they just re-released the fucking this colorway.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that shit too. And people are starting to load up carts now because you don't want to miss out on the new shit. You don't want to miss out on the new colorway. There's so many different options, but yet it's all in this same lore. Listen, I want to get the new Iron Man book, but I also want to get Spider-Man, and they got the Spectacular Spider-Man, so I got to read this shit now, too.
And they have a variant cover.
And there's all this different shit that people are buying it up because there's little uniqueness.
Is it fair to say you guys are Marvel? Like pro Marvel, right?
I mean, I don't go one way or the other, but...
Okay.
I'm a little...
kind of along to your point, it's just like DC has their place, and they've been out way longer.
That's a great
than Marvel,
comparison.
Right?
That is a really good.
I literally think Marvel equals Nike, DC equals Adidas. I mean, because like
they're both great for different reasons. Yeah,
but I can stand by that.
One clearly is just more palatable.
As time goes on, yeah,
exactly.
I think using that analogy, I think it works too because
for this show,
one is so much more in the forefront for everybody. One is more in the forefront where you have Nike being Marvel. It's something that you have all the movies. People see it all the time. It's so much more in people's faces. I think that is what Nike is over Adidas. Because I noticed this. So we had All-Star Game was last year. So All-Star Game was last year. I did not see any fucking like Adidas signs, posters, billboards, ads. They weren't really doing a ton of I didn't see a ton from them. I saw one billboard that was like over in fucking Shaky Town that looked like some dude got paid like $150 to fucking pop this thing up on like a billboard. Do you unplug it? I think it might be other one. My infuser's on still. But yeah, it was just something that I noticed. I was like, that's crazy that no one at Adidas. Same one, I think. No one at Adidas was like, damn, it's fucking like the All-Star game, one of the biggest times of the year for NBA basketball, biggest shoe sport. And you guys were like, nah, we probably don't need to put a lot into that.
And, you know, they had, you know, Adidas, you know, shout out to Cleveland right now. We got Donovan Mitchell.
Hell yeah.
He's Adidas.
Okay.
But even, you know, they actually did a Spider-Man crossover with Tom Holland with Donovan Mitchell. I have the Spider-Man shoe. It's literally half red and
Which
blue.
is crazy because there's also
very cool.
a Jordan 1 Spider-Man
and they
from Into the Spider-Verse.
Miles Morales had a superstar, too. So I could see Nike and Adidas, they're kind of battling. Yeah. And that kind of leads to the other reason why Nike has dominated, and it's because of the movies. Nike is very tight with the studios, right? And they make sure, and they've done this for decades, they get their sneakers and
get those shoes in there.
Yeah.
Isn't in the Into the Spider-Verse, isn't Miles Morales specifically wearing
Jordan 1s? Yeah,
exactly.
And those came out as a limited edition. Or
I got this sick sticker
release
of Miles Morales like doing like a jump man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
And
awesome.
Like we were saying before, you have the Cortez and Forrest Gump. I feel like,
bro, it's crazy how many movies Nike
we got to do a whole episode on movie, you know,
shoes.
100%. We'll do it. But we're talking movies like Selena.
Okay.
With J-Lo.
Never seen it.
Nike backed that. So, like,
really?
I only know this because there's promotional clothing items that had the Nike swoosh and whatnot. There was a ACG. It was ACG and Selena.
Really?
Yes. And just stuff like that. Or
kind of a weird.
There's a kind of a rafting disaster movie called, I think it was River Wild. Nike had a hand in that.
Deliverance.
Yeah, just like, so Nike, you know, they know that an advertisement is merely more than a billboard or more than just having an athlete, which is, you know, important.
But I was talking about this, not to cut you off, with someone the other day because I was saying, hey, this is the topic for today's show. What do you think about it? It was my buddy, shout out Gianni, sneakerhead.
Stash?
No, Gianni who works with us, but he had said one of the big problems that he thinks Adidas has is they don't have as many athletes that are standout superstars the way that Nike's been able to cultivate it.
Right.
Where players who are huge, who are bigger than the game, end up being at Nike. You have, again...
Dude, but what about Derrick Rose?
That's true. D-Rose. Where's
No
my
offense,
knee
D-Rose.
Rose?
So I was actually at a launch for the D-Rose. I don't even remember the number.
You were at a luncheon?
No, launch.
Oh, a launch.
So when D-Rose was on the Cavs for like a year, exhibition.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, which was exciting, right? But D-Rose came, very nice guy, and I literally, no offense, D-Rose or Adidas, but like the shoe was not cool. Like,
right.
I had the opportunity to buy it so that he could sign it right there, and I'm like, I'd rather him sign my basketball that I brought with me.
Yeah, you're like, I don't really want to purchase the shoe.
And no offense, you know, it's not D-Rose's fault or nothing.
Yeah,
you know,
these guys aren't fucking making the shoes.
Great man. And so that's that. But
because who else is on? So you said Donovan Mitchell, Derrick Rose. It always seems like people that
Damian Lillard.
Yeah, these are tremendous players, but are these players that are Michael Jordan status, LeBron James status?
No, because the check that Nike offers is, I feel, exponential compared to any other brand.
Okay, a good example is Kobe was on Adidas. Yeah. Started with Adidas.
You remember how those shoes looked?
Like tanks, like if a tank,
RoboCop ski boots.
They're cool. They look sweet, but it's for a weird
new band name called it RoboCop ski boot.
The marketing campaign for that shoe, he was wearing some fire fits ahead of his time too.
I think that was a cool shoe. It seems horrible to play basketball in. It feels like you're wearing a slipper.
Yeah,
but again,
it's a foam clog, like the wooden clog.
And but then he also, it probably is the check, But he goes over to Nike and starts putting out shoes that all the best players want to wear, because not only is it a Kobe shoe, Nike is putting in the time and effort to make sure that not only does the shoe look good, but it's also an incredible shoe to wear for the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
For playing a game, so many people were like, cool, a really comfortable low basketball shoe, which isn't widely like so many people rock highs for ankle support. That was something that was like, holy shit, dude, this is like a sick low shoe that I can wear and that doesn't look fucking insane.
Yeah. I think, sweet, we're flying through this. I think back to branding too, and storytelling and collecting.
Yeah.
One reason why I would have to say Nike, just no question compared to Adidas, is the names of the shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, let's look under the ACG line. They made a bunch of shoes with names like Rivederci, Moab, Goadome.
I like how you say Rivederci.
Magma, like Lava Dome. All these names, like Adidas does not even. The closest I've ever seen them was things like Oswego, which is, I'm assuming, Lake Oswego in Portland, right?
Okay.
I
didn't even know that.
Or let's go back to Nike again with SB names. You got, the Three Bears. You got Doctor. It's just like a whole nother universe of names.
Well, and I think they're also not afraid to fucking have fun with shit. They're like, dude, we get it. The Grateful Dead shoe is essentially
not that shoe.
But I'm saying, like, they tend to be almost unwearable on a regular basis. Yeah. It is a shoe you wear to show off to people, and that's kind of it. And collect.
And it's definitely it's like conflicting, but I mean, with it being like a hippie culture, but it was such a cash grab, such a corporate shell of a move.
But they're also not like afraid to be like, make it crazy. It's not just true. Don't just throw a like Steely on the fucking heel of it and make like a random easy red, white, blue, dead colored thing. Call. They were like, fuck it, dude. Make it look like the Bears and make this shit fuzzy and like
give it texture. Make it look like someone on acid designed it.
Play with the swoosh. Play with these iconic things you have.
And you know what that is I don't know if they ever mentioned this at the board meetings or whatever at Nike, but that is called personification. When you attribute qualities like names and whatnot to, let's just say something
inanimate object,
which is the product. Dude, Nike, like the milk crates. If I say milk crate, I'm talking about a blazer. Okay, it's stuff like that. I don't see in Adidas. Maybe a little, because ultimately it's a collaboration of sorts, right?
Yeah, you get some.
It's a landslide. Like Nike has way more, you know.
And it's a lot of shoes too. Adidas in that same realm. Just kind of my last thoughts on it before we start wrapping up here. But like you were saying, a name of a Nike shoe is, you just have to say the name. And people know immediately what it is.
Yeah.
There's not, and they don't have to be collabs either. You know where sometimes people who collaborate on, that's the name of it. Adidas doesn't have a bunch of colorways that, we call this the candy canes because they're red and white.
And we're not saying Adidas doesn't have that.
No, but they don't have it as much.
Not even close. Yeah.
Also, come back to that. Jerry did actually used to rock these Nike Air Maxes back in the day, so I think that might have something to do with it too.
For sure.
Argument. Jerry Garcia wore Air Max infrareds. Let's go.
If you like the Grateful Dead, you better be listening to this show because we're Nike shills over here, baby. Cut the check.
Here's the thing, guys. I'm really proud of this discussion because we didn't even bring up how much each company makes.
No.
Which settles the argument right there. We don't have to. Yeah. And we didn't even talk about Kanye because that was a huge part of Adidas' market share.
Correct.
And the amount they made. But I don't even consider Kanye, yes, design forward and all that. But I don't even consider that the best of Adidas. The best of Adidas era was in this area.
Correct.
And the whole EQT lineup we'll talk about in the future. of their whole like outdoor line that Adidas had that was like competing with ACG was actually fire. Okay,
I believe it.
So we'll talk about that another time. But like honestly, at the end of the day, where are we right now in 2023? It's clearly the company that makes, I wrote this down, $200 billion. That's what the value is right now. $200 billion as the IRS knows it. You want to guess how many billion Adidas is worth?
I'm going to say Adidas, if Nike's at 200, I'm going to say Adidas is at 100?
30.
Oh, wow.
30
billion. And that's coming from, like we talked about, a company that has much more like international presence with the whole soccer vibe and everything. This is an American company, and obviously people wear Nikes all over the world. But and circling back to, I wanted to ask when we were talking more about soccer, but obviously we know that after this discussion too is that Adidas was named after the guy who started the company, but the whole "all day I dream about soccer" thing I always found very interesting because the rest of the world doesn't call it soccer. And somehow we're like, oh yeah, that's what Adidas stands for. And it's just more of like a coincidental thing. You probably know more about this, Yohei, yeah?
Because it actually means all day I dream about sex.
Right, well
and that's what I learned in 5th grade.
So do you know anything about how like that whole acronym came to be and it's just a coincidental thing, or?
It feels like it's a retroactive thing.
I think the beauty of life is that you learn new things.
Yeah.
And I did not know this.
Really?
Are you serious?
All day I dream about soccer.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a popular thing for, like in grade school.
The look on Yohei's face was worth it.
He's blown away.
What face? No.
We're all learning today.
Yeah, no, this is a place for all of us.
You've never heard that?
No.
That's rad. That's awesome. That's
a
learning show, dude.
Again, I think, just because we're saying Nike is clearly for aesthetic reasons, business, and just the dominance is the winner, we're not, looking down on other brands that are killing it right now, like New Balance, Salomon.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I just learned in research that Salomon used to be owned by Adidas.
Oh,
so
really?
They dropped the ball there. Yeah. But anyway, even Puma, I think has its place. Like, I could not even imagine if I ever go to Africa and I don't see a dude wearing no socks and a pair of Pumas, right? I mean, it's to be expected, like it's just
chasing a puma.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of sneaker culture, is understanding the big picture.
Yeah.
But as far as the classic argument that people want to have, like who's better or whatever, it's just very clear that you could have your preference, but Nike is the dominant.
Well said, Pat. What are your closing statements?
I mean, dude, I'm fucking Team Nike all day. Every day. Swooshes, baby. But no, I think we all knew both of us were going to fucking go Nike, but it is interesting to see how these two have kind of battled it out a little bit, where they both started from, how Nike has just kind of fucking pushed, like, hit the gas way harder in the last 20, 30 years to make them, clearly even money-wise, way more fucking dominant than Adidas. But I think we just came up with our idea for next episode.
Okay, what's that?
Which is going to be top shoes from movies. So we'll do a little research on shoes.
We had a topic. What?
Well, we did. We've talked about like the Star Wars Adidas and stuff like that.
Okay. But I'm saying shoes
that were worn
in movies.
Bad.
So we'll do that next week.
Sweet.
This was a great episode, guys. Great job.
We first time recording, so if there's any fucking hiccups on the video, let us know.
Sound off in the comments, as the youngins say.
Subscribe to the YouTube. That's the new thing. Button. Smash that like button. Subscribe. Leave a comment.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Tag Mr. Beast. Tag Nike.
Tag that fucking lizard they had at the shop.
Kicks.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone for listening to USS Untitled Shoe Show, the #1 comedy shoe podcast you've heard ever in your entire life, in the universe, in the nebula, fucking whole whatever outer space is. We're out there killing it. Like I said, go listen to this shit on YouTube, watch it on YouTube, like, subscribe, go to the Instagram, Threads and Dreads Pod. Give that shit a follow, do some comments, do some likes, all that good shit. And if you want to be a real good person, you want to maybe get into heaven a little bit earlier, catch a couple penances or whatever they call it. Patreon.com/threads and dreads. Toss a couple coins our way, and maybe we get a couple more shoes in here. We get some more guests, better studio, more fucking shit going on. We appreciate it. We love you. Big shout out. Thank you to Yohei, always coming with the facts, coming with the shoes. Big shout out to Sean, the one who got us recording on some video, killing it behind the scenes. And thank you to everyone for listening. Anyone else got anything to say? Otherwise, it's one kiss goodbye. Love you.